All right, the time is 5:17. It's quiet right now outside, Joseph, but man, we've got a lot coming tonight and this weekend.
Yeah, we have two things. The one tonight is more so going to be up north, but we're all going to get some very windy conditions, which is just going to be quite annoying later today. I have temperatures starting this morning cooler than yesterday. Right now it's calm. Right now there's not a lot going on. I want to give you a nice little update there to see what's going on. I have temperatures at about 15 degrees up north, 18 to the northwest there, and then down south in the mid-20s to kind of kick off the morning. And as I zoom on in, very, very similar. I have Vicky and Maiden Rock coming in at 26 degrees this morning. The bright crescent moon is low in the sky over Lake Pepin, and it's beautiful. Happy Thursday. Yeah, I like to start off the day like that. If you have a shot of the moon, go ahead, send it on over. We have quiet conditions for now. A lot is going to happen, and we have some adjustments to the weekend forecast, some adjustments to the forecast for today, so I want to get you ready for it. It'll start off nice and dry, clear, great sunrise coming in our direction this morning, but our system out to the west, which will be moving on in and kind of developing through the course of the day, is going to drop some heavy snow. Up north, we're going to avoid that around the metro area for us, but there's winter storm warnings in all these counties here in this orange red, blizzard warning again for the North Shore, advisories in these other purple counties. Be prepared, and that's why we have a next weather alert in place, because of that heavy snow once again up north. For us, we have high wind, all right? We have a warning for tonight into Friday morning. We could push about 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and that can definitely cause maybe some outages and some other problems. So just be careful with that wind late tonight. Saturday into Monday morning, I'm anticipating heavy snow with travel issues expected up north tonight into tomorrow. And then for us, probably the weekend and maybe even Monday morning. Let's take a look at the forecast. We get into the afternoon, clouds thicken up, temperatures today pushing into the mid-40s. I believe we start seeing some moisture late afternoon into the evening. It's more so probably going to be in the form of rain, but we can kind of toggle back and forth between maybe some snow and rain. Most south of the cities will just be dealing with rain, and the rest up north will see some of that heavier snow, especially again the North Shore and inland there up north to some of the counties. We get to Friday afternoon, we get some sunshine. It's a little cooler. It's still going to be a little breezy, but not as strong. And then we start approaching the weekend. The weekend, we have some minor snow down to the southwest early Saturday morning, but Saturday evening is when we start seeing an increase in this heavy snow with our next system moving on in, and we're feeling pretty confident that there's going to be some high snow totals around here when we get to that point in time. As far as tonight goes, you'll notice all the highest totals up north, Grand Marais extending down to the southwest of Hayward, and we'll probably see less than an inch around here. Heading into the weekend by Saturday night, so this is the first part of this storm, at least about 4 inches probably down south with a pretty good chance for that here. And then we tack on Sunday, which is probably going to be about double that. We'll see, though. All right, we do have next possible alerts in place. One thing is certain, it is going to get cold. 29 degrees on Sunday behind that snow. Fresh coat of snow is going to keep us cold. 19 on Monday, 24 on Tuesday. Only about freezing there on Wednesday.
Winter isn't over.
Yes, we're still in the thick of it.
You're watching WCCO Mornings, always streaming on CBS News Minnesota.
Next on WCCO Mornings, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey vetoes a plan to help struggling renters. Why a tenants' right organization says it's disappointing.
Plus, the rally for nursing home workers happening outside the state capitol today who are demanding help for their residents.
And a woman's life was forever changed after a run-in with an e-bike. How she's pushing for changes to keep others safe.
Then a win for people who use service animals. How Lyft is making sure that they get where they need to go.
Good morning. Welcome to WCCO Mornings, streaming live on CBS News Minnesota. I'm Beret Leone.
And I'm Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. We're so glad to be with you today. Let's get right over to next weather meteorologist Joseph Dames, because we have issued a next weather alert.
Yeah, next weather alert today. It's more so for tonight. It's more an alert to prepare people for what's coming. Sometimes in severe weather, we might have to throw an alert in quickly due to a stronger storm, or maybe in the winter we get a snow squall that sets up and we have to put in an alert. But this is more so to prepare you for what's coming up later today. Clear skies this morning. Few clouds starting to move on in, and if you're out west, those clouds have already pushed on through, but those clouds are only going to thicken up as we go through the day today, as we are waiting and anticipating our next system, which is going to slide through later tonight. All right, I have rain in the forecast, some of you heavy snow, and for all of us later today, some very strong wind, and that's why we have next weather alerts in place. Satellite and radar out to the west. I expanded this. I wanted to stretch it out a little bit so you can see what's going on. The Pacific Northwest is where our next disturbance is. It's already producing areas of heavy rain over in Oregon and Washington and probably up to the BC. Well, that system is going to get packaged up and it's going to travel through the mountains, the Rockies here, and it's going to come sliding through this weekend, carrying a decent amount of moisture with it. We're just waiting on the exact tracking of this system, and it's usually going to come down to the moment, but we have a better idea of what will arrive this weekend. And I will tell you more about that here in just 1 second. We'll start off with today, though. Here comes the clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Now, I'm favoring this particular weather model this morning because I think it does a better idea, or has a better idea, showing that snow and rain line. So, cities south and southwest, likely rain, snow north and northeast of us. And that snow is going to be quite heavy. And with that wind later today, it's going to be blowing just a lot, aggressively. And so that's going to lower down the visibility. So that's why we're really concerned about it with those folks up north. Where I think the model's a little off is just how strong the rain is going to be down south. I don't think it's going to be that intense, but I am expecting moments of some steady rain and maybe some pockets of moderate to heavy rain. Tomorrow morning, we're down near freezing, and this is our best chance to see some very light snow tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some flurries just kind of flying around and maybe some light snow on the ground, especially the north and east metro area. So we'll have to watch the traffic for you in the roads tomorrow morning because that could be a problem. We get through that. We have dry time on Friday, but it's going to be windy, and then our next disturbance starts creeping on in this weekend. As far as the snowfall totals go for today heading into tomorrow morning, greatest totals up north, probably even a foot of snow for Grand Marais. Some very heavy snow up in Grand Rapids to Duluth, and the rest of the state looks pretty quiet. Northern Wisconsin also dealing with some heavy snow there. That should take us to the weekend. We have a next possible alert in place Saturday night into Sunday because of the wind and the snow. All right, so here's Friday's system. That's out of here. Saturday starts creeping in. Saturday, like evening and night, you'll see that band of snow picking up around the cities, and then it pulls down to the southeast by Sunday night. I think we're wrapped up by the time we get to late Sunday night, but that's something that we'll have to monitor. What's coming into agreement is that we're likely going to see the greatest snow totals around the cities down to the south, not as much up north. And the timing of the system seems to be pretty solidified to Saturday night to Sunday evening or Sunday night. As far as snow totals go, this is a chance for 8 inches, pretty high down to the south. It's clipping the cities. We'll see what we can get here. I think 5 to 8 inches is a better window for now. 29 to 19 to 24, a cold St. Patrick's Day. And ladies, I think we'll have single digits out there. And if we have a lot of snow on the ground, it may take 3, 4, 5 days for us to actually warm up because it's going to be like a refrigerator down here.
Okay.
All right.
The Irish.
Thanks, Joseph. 7:35 is your time. Roads are looking pretty good across the metro. That one exclamation point in Minneapolis, that's 35W southbound, that has since cleared, but there is still a bit of a backup in that area. Of course, normal traffic as well because it is 7:36 now. Traffic starts to pick up at this time, so of course just give yourself a little extra time.
Developing this morning, the Minnesota BCA is investigating a fatal use of force incident in the Med City. The incident happened in Rochester, an apartment building. This was for a domestic-related call, according to Rochester police. They say that a struggle between a man and officers led them to grabbing the man grabbing one of the officer's guns and then another officer shooting him. They say that life-saving measures were taken, but the man died at the hospital.
Yesterday, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey vetoed the measure passed by the city council that would have temporarily required landlords to wait 60 days instead of 30 before filing an eviction notice. The measure was put forward in an effort to ease the burden for renters after Operation Metro Surge, which city data shows led to an additional $15.7 million in monthly need for rent support. Last month, the city unlocked $1 million in rental assistance to help Hennepin County residents impacted by the surge, and the mayor is proposing an additional $1 million in emergency relief. The co-executive executive director with tenants' rights organization Homeline, says the focus on rental relief is positive, but described Mayor Frye's veto as disappointing.
We're anticipating a drastic increase in eviction filings coming up, and I think we haven't quite felt the effects on the housing world just yet from Metro Surge because of the gaps that mutual aid was able to fill.
Frye's office said the number of eviction filings this year is consistent so far with the monthly average in 2025. As for what happens now, the council would need 9 votes to override a mayoral veto.
Turning now to Minnesota's fraud crisis, we're following charges after a woman allegedly defrauded the state Medicaid system for $611,000. After a licensing review of B&G Caring Angels LLC, a service to care for people 65 and older with disabilities, the Minnesota Office of Inspector General issued a correction order. There were a number of citations listed on that report. The owner of the program is charged with 6 counts of felony theft, allegedly submitting more than 3,000 fraudulent claims for waivered services, which were never provided or performed by ineligible workers. Despite pending felony charges, DHS still lists the business license as active.
Happening today, nursing home workers are demanding the state take action to support them and their residents. Later this morning, union members will hold a rally outside of the Department of Labor and Industry in St. Paul. This rally will kick off a new group called Nursing Home Workers United, which focuses on advocating for workers and residents. Some of their demands include addressing the staffing crisis, keeping ICE out of homes, and a call for back pay for minimum wage increases, which have been delayed since the start of the year. WCCO has reached out to the Department of Labor and Industry for a statement, but we have not yet heard back. State lawmakers voted unanimously to move forward with a bill designed to stop children from being groomed in Minnesota schools.
Yes, and that comes following a WCCO investigative series. The focus for the Public Safety Committee was on a specific part of the bill making grooming a felony offense. Hannah Lopresto spoke about what she calls the grooming and sexual assault by her high school band teacher. She told members why closing gaps in the law and making grooming a chargeable offense is critical.
Preys on every vulnerability you have until you're trapped by shame. Shame wants you to hide, and hiding protects your abuser. At the height of its control, I would have done anything he asked. Grooming is not a precursor to abuse. It is abuse all on its own.
The bill now moves to another committee in the House. The companion bill in the Senate will have a first hearing next week.
A Hastings woman is pushing for change after a crash with an e-bike left her with life-changing injuries. This video shows the moments after Janet Stokoe was hit by an e-bike going 25 miles per hour on a sidewalk back in 2024. Now she's working with Representative Tom DePel on a new law banning all electric bikes from Minnesota walkways. Stokoe is still dealing with the aftermath more than a year later.
I will never regain taste or smell. Additionally, my ear hasn't stopped ringing, and I am being seen by a neuro team for open orbital roof fracture.
And our hope and goal is to keep as much momentum as we can behind this, so it moves all the way through the process and it can get to the governor's desk.
The bill is set to go before the Commerce Committee before the possible vote in the House. Minnesotans with service animals say they've been denied rides on Lyft in the past.
So now a new settlement with the rideshare company ensures that that will not happen again. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights says drivers can be deactivated from the app if they violate their service animal policy.
And this case is a deeply personal thing to me because I travel pretty much everywhere with my guide dog. He is my eyes, he is my freedom, and he is why I am able to live independently. And I'm hoping that these changes will help myself, but also help the other service dog handlers in the state.
The commissioner for the Minnesota Department.
This was settled out of court and allows the Department of Human Rights to monitor compliance for 3 years. In a statement, Lyft said in part, the commitments reflected in this agreement reaffirm the robust practices Lyft has already had in place to help ensure that riders who rely on service animals are treated with the respect they deserve.
An emotional Facebook post has gone viral, sharing one man's personal journey fleeing Iran as a child.
It also gives this unique perspective on his reaction to the war in Iran. Armen Asadi was born in Iran. His family fled to Pakistan due to religious persecution. They later came to America as refugees. Asadi sat down with our Adam Dexter for this week's episode of Bigger Than Belief podcast. They discuss his reaction to the war, as well as his journey to America and what freedom means to him and his family. Asadi tells the story of the emotional moment that they arrived to MSP, and his dad encouraged him to just stand back and take in the American flag.
This is the first time since you've been alive that you're breathing free air and you don't have to worry about being killed or me being killed or anyone going to prison. And the only reason that is because of that flag right there. So I want you to take this in. You're free. We're free. Took about 2 minutes to fall in love with America, you know?
Healthcare costs have went up and many people are struggling to afford it.
That's right. So we're going to tell you about the spending cuts that some Americans are making to try and get their lives in order so they can pay for this important coverage.
And you don't have to leave your home to track your heart health. Check out this new free app that could change your life.